For Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lopes, and I am now joined by Princeton men's volleyball head coach Sam Shweisky. And Coach, we're about a month away from the start of the regular season. You guys are finishing up your preseason training block. What has this fall been like in the Princeton gym as you guys get ready for the upcoming season?
Well, I'll tell you, Vinny, it's been an exciting fall for us. It's been the first fall that it's been a little bittersweet for me. My first fall in 8 years not working with the Princeton women's team. We were fortunate enough to hire a full-time women's assistant here. And so, not being able to work with them has been a bummer. And, a lot of the admin here joking with me that since I've stepped away, they've now made it to the NCAA playoffs for the first time since 2007. They play at BYU tonight. But in terms of the men, it's been great. I've been able to really give them focus and really put some more effort into individuals and film review and the kind of stuff that we always wanted to do now that I have some more free time. And it's been good. We have a really young, talented but young freshman class, and so I've been able to give them a lot of focus and attention and really kind of drill down and see where I can help them get better. So it's been an exciting fall. We went out to Penn State for one weekend and did a nice scrimmage day with them. And then we hosted the 8th annual Glenn Nelson Classic here a few weeks ago. Had 20 teams come in, which is a lot of fun. And then we'll wrap things up this Saturday. We've got a small tournament. NJIT is coming in for our final scrimmage date on Saturday. So it's been a great fall, and we're just looking forward to finishing up and then getting ready for the regular season.
Yeah, Coach, looking at your team, what do you feel has been the biggest area that they've improved upon since the beginning of the fall training session?
Well, I'll tell you, I think probably the biggest thing that we've made some strides in is just, focus and intensity. I think there was some times in the early part of the training block where guys were maybe going through the motions, maybe not kind of pushing themselves as hard as they needed to. And, I've really been pleased with some of the senior leadership and some of the captains that have really come through and said, hey, if we're going to make this the season we want it to be, we're going to have to push each other and drive each other. And so just really pleased with the sort of internal energy that's been coming out of some of the guys. And the guys are really responding. They respond well to each other. They push each other well, hold each other accountable. All those cliche sayings are actually starting to take some meaning. And it's been exciting to see sort of the fruits of some of that effort. So that's been really encouraging.
Yeah. And Coach, looking back at last season, obviously I know you guys would have loved to have made a postseason berth, but just weren't able to do it. But what do you think was the biggest thing you and your players were able to take away from last season?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the great things about last season was we were certainly humbled. We didn't have a great year. It was difficult to put the points on the board that we needed, and didn't make the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. And so I think that there was a real sense of humility and sort of bringing us back to earth of hard work and what we want to get accomplished. So, you can't fake humility. It's something you can talk about, but until you sort of get down to hard work and pull your sleeves up and get going, it's hard to sort of fake that. So I think that was good. I think we had a tough year and didn't do as well as we'd pleased, and now we're sort of got a little chip on our shoulder, and we want to get back to the playoffs. That's something that we've done consistently since 2012, and something we want to keep doing from here on out. And the guys are pretty motivated to do so at this point.
Yeah, and Coach, you mentioned a little bit earlier that you're bringing in a good freshman class. Who are maybe one or two of the freshmen who could be making a significant impact on the court this season for you?
Well, I'm pretty pleased with all 4 of the freshmen. All 4 of them come from pretty talented backgrounds, and we're excited to see as they step into the college game and sort of make the adjustments from the club game and the high school game to the college game. I think all 4 have the possibility to impact the lineup and impact the league. I think the one that stands out probably the most, just because he's head and shoulders physically above everyone else, would be George Human. He's almost 7 feet tall and certainly has the physicality as a middle to really do some special things. We've been working with him on his timing, trying to get up quick in the middle and working on his blocking, and his serve is really coming along. And he's a real talented player, and we're excited to see. I think he's really only scratched the surface with the things he can do. But he's definitely going to be certainly a focal point for a lot of teams when they play us, try to stop him in the middle. And I'm excited with what he's going to bring to our team.
And I do want to ask you, because I'd love to get your perspective on this. Obviously, George Human. This summer, he played with the U.S. men's junior national team, was able to help them win a gold medal at the Norsecas. And then you're the coach of the U.S. boys youth national team. I'm just wondering, how beneficial is it for these college or even younger high school players to get some international experience before going to the college level?
I think it's extremely beneficial. My experience with the junior national team in the last cycle with Dan Friend and Jay Hosick, and then this last year with Theo Edwards and Brad Keller, it was just amazing. And from a coaching standpoint, you're exposed to new ideas and higher levels of volleyball. But for the players as well, to see how Brazil and Russia and China and Poland, all these teams can play volleyball, it's pretty outstanding. So yeah, we're ecstatic that George had that opportunity to play on that team, and hopefully he'll continue to compete for some of those spots in the coming summer. But yeah, I love USA volleyball. I love being a part of it as a coach, and I love for our guys to compete and try to make some of those teams, because not only do you get to play with great players, you get to play with great coaches and get coached from different styles and different ways of looking at the game, and also get to play against great players all across the world. So yeah, it's really a win-win, and I think it's huge for advancing their game when they come back to college.
Yeah. And Coach, looking at your team for the upcoming season, what do you guys have to do? What areas do you need to be successful in order to make the postseason again?
Well, I think serve and pass is sort of the name of the game. I think offensively, if we can get the ball near our setter, I think we're going to be okay. And I think if we can knock the opponent sort of away from the perfect pass zone, we'll have a chance to block some balls. But if the other team is passing perfect, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And if we can't locate the ball well with our reception, we're also going to be in a lot of trouble. So, it's fun to work on the speed of the offense. It's fun to work on the back row attack and all these other nuanced things that we as coaches enjoy doing. But it comes down to serve and pass. And so obviously that's a huge part of our focus every year. We just hope that, if we're going to be good, that the practice is going to pay off. And when it comes down to it, we'll be able to serve and we'll be able to pass.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you, it is an interesting time in the conference, given the fact that you didn't have Penn State win it. Jay Hossack was able to win it with his George Mason team. And I just want to ask for you as a coach is, what does that do for your players in seeing that, hey, there are teams able to knock off Penn State, and we've knocked off Penn State before? Does that give your team more confidence entering the season that you can win an EIVA title?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, in some ways, yes, but in some ways it also, I think just speaks to the strength of the league. Perhaps, 6, 7, 8 years ago when I got in the league, it was sort of like Penn State, and then there was a big drop to the rest of the group, and it was kind of, hey, if you can knock off Penn State, you've got this free ticket. That's not really the case anymore. I think there's a bottleneck of a bunch of teams at the top of the league that are all strong. Obviously, St. Francis, I think, beat Penn State twice last year, and I don't believe Mason actually beat Penn State last year. I think they beat St. Francis. And they were the ones that pushed them over the top. So you're looking at Penn State, George Mason, St. Francis, Harvard's going to be strong, Sacred Heart, NJIT, Charleston's getting better. The league is strong. And so the fact that Penn State may not have as much distance between itself and the rest of us, it doesn't necessarily speak to anything Penn State has done. I think the rest of the teams have sort of caught up a little bit. And there's a lot of really good teams in the league. So I expect every match to be a dogfight this year, and I think it's an exciting league to be in, especially when there's more parity. That makes for a fun sporting event and a fun sporting season.
Yeah. Now, looking at the start of your season, your team's going to be traveling to Hawaii to play in the Outrigger Invitational, taking on Ball State, Hawaii, and Erskine. What do you expect from those matches, and just how is your team preparing to travel cross country to play in this tournament?
Well, I tell you, we're really fortunate that a lot of our donors and supporters have stepped up to support us for this trip. It's not a free trip to go to Hawaii, but we're very excited to be invited. It's a historic tournament. The Outrigger tournament's been going on for many years. A very prestigious tournament, and we're really excited to go travel and experience some of the culture out there, and then play some of the best volleyball certainly in the country. Hawaii is known for its amazing fans and its amazing venue. We can't wait to play them. Same with Ball State and Erskine. I think it's going to be a great mix of teams from the 3 different conferences outside of our own. So it's a great opportunity, and we're really excited to have that be our first stop of our season.
Yeah, now we talked about going out to Hawaii, but you once again scheduled a very tough non-conference. What other non-conference match for you are you most excited about?
Our interception trip out to California is always a fun one. We're playing UCLA on Sunday, January 29th at 8 p.m. That's going to be on the Pac-12 network, which is pretty cool. That's a really fun match. Brad Keller and I are really good friends. He was the associate head coach with me for the youth national team. He's a fantastic coach. Obviously, John Spurr, John Hawks. It's an amazingly dynamic staff and a great team, and just it's UCLA. It's such a storied, historic program to be a part of, and be playing them is really fun to play them in Paul Pavilion and play them on national television. So that's super exciting. That trip rounds out with UC San Diego and Concordia, and then our spring break trip, we head out to BYU, where our women are playing tonight. Going to get the lay of the land for us and send back a good scouting report. But BYU also a great place to play. When I was at UNLV years ago with the women, we used to play in the Mountain West Conference with them, and it's a fantastic venue. Great, knowledgeable fans, that really cheer for good volleyball. So that's going to be an exciting match. They're going to be very strong this year. And then 2 matches out at Grand Canyon. So, we're really excited about the travel we're going to get to do, and hopefully it prepares us well for the tail end of our season.